WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something from the Kentucky Owl, the WiseMan Straight Rye Whiskey. Now this is a 95.5 mash bill, but it's not from MGP. I'm sorry, we now call it then Ross and Squibb Distillery. It is from Bardstown Bourbon Company. Yay! I was there this summer, summer of 2022. I expect great, awesome, totally unbelievable things from the Bardstown Bourbon Company, what they're doing and who they are supplying. So Dixon back then actually signed contracts with Bardstown Bourbon Company to make not only a bourbon but also a rye whiskey. And today we're seeing the fruits of his vision come to actually show what's going on. So we have the problem that Stoli Group bought the Kentucky Owl back then in 2017, I think. And ever since then, we now have the master blender that used to be with Four Roses, John Rye. He actually did the WiseMan Bourbon. He did the Kentucky Owl Bourbon, St. Patrick's Edition, and now the Rye. This was released in September 2021 in the US, and it made it over to Germany fairly quickly. I saw it first of all in June of 2022. We're paying between 55 and 60 euros for this, exactly the same price point as the bourbon, and you in America are paying about $60, the same price point as the bourbon as well. So 95% 95% rye, 5% malted barley. All right, since there's no age statement and it is a straight, it has to be 4 years of age. What am I going to compare it to? If you know my channel a little bit, you know I will always try to compare it to something. I have here Redemption Rye, pre-prohibition rye revival, 46%, and this is a straight rye whiskey, and it's from MGP. So this is MGP 95.5. This is Bardstown Bourbon Company 95.5. So I'm very, very interested in comparing the two of them to see where we land. Now, no one has a patent, at least I'm not aware of anyone having a patent on a particular mash bill. Wouldn't that be great that Ross and Squibb could just patent the mash bill, say no one else could do 95.5, 94.6, 96.4, whatever, but not 95.5. So I don't think that the patent office would actually allow that. All right, on the nose. Now, I'm getting a sweetness. I'm getting a rye, grassy dill moment. I like this a lot. I get a little bit of a fruitiness, maybe even like a peach. Now, it's fairly balanced, I must admit. I would not have thought that this is a rye. I would have said it's a high rye bourbon, but that it's 95.5, I would not have understood. Over here, the Redemption. Now it's very interesting. It's subtler, and there's a little bit more of the green rye moment going on. So it's a tiny little bit younger, at least on the nose, than what Bardstown Bourbon Company has been able to do in the Kentucky heat in the rick houses. Don't forget, MGP, they have brick warehouses. It takes longer to age product to a certain amount of maturity than it does in the heat and in the summer and in the sun of the Kentucky summers. All right, let's try this. Cheers. I forgot to mention one of the most important points of this whiskey, 50.4% ABV. So the minimum alcohol, of course, for a whiskey is 40. So we can go up in the 60s. If we're above 70, we're a hazmat. We don't want that. Normal people don't want it. So we're at 50%, which is excellent. That's flavor. That's mouthfeel. That's alcohol. There's no burn, but it's present. It's there. And the rye moment is also very, very forward here. I like a lot. In comparison, the Redemption Rye, 46, 46%. Yep. Mm-hmm. The Redemption Rye is much better, in my opinion, than the Bullet Rye. Now, the Bullet Rye over here in Germany costs $24, 24 euros, $24. You can't beat that for a mixer, for a straight pour, for something on ice. If you don't have a lot of demands on your whiskey, this will get the job done. This is good stuff. Now, this costs about 50% more. So we're talking about 38 euros basically. And it's almost worth that price increase for that flavor, for that, especially the finish. That finish of the Bullet is harsh. This is very vanilla. A lot of vanilla, a little bit of honey, a nice brown sugar moment. Very, very nice. And the rye moment, from the start to finish, is there. Now this is actually a step above that. I like this. This is a C plus whiskey. Value for money, is it worth $60? Is it worth 55 to 60 euros? No, it's a C minus. If you want to buy it, go ahead. If you're going to buy something from the Kentucky out of the WiseMan, buy the rye. Now, I personally believe that it's much, much easier to get a young rye flavor profile out into the public than it is a young bourbon. Bourbons often go to the 4 to 8 year range before they pop, before they come nice. And ryes can do the 4 to 6 years. So with a 5-year-old rye, you're going to hit some sweet spots. And with a 7-year-old bourbon, you're going to hit some sweet spots. And those 2 years make an amazing amount of difference in the quality of the whiskey being served, in my opinion. I like. This is good. Thank you, Kentucky Owl. I'm sorry. Thank you, Stoli Group, for actually putting something out on the market. It's still a C minus for value for money. Would I go for the Bullet? Yes. I can get 2.5 bottles of that for one of these. Would I go for this? Yes. It's running out on the market. We're not getting anything new from Redemption. I haven't seen anything in the last 2 to 3 years, but we still have some bottles out there at an okay price. A lot of people have not repriced these for inflation, so it's something you could look out for if you're in the neighborhood for buying a good rye whiskey. Now, the best rye whiskey out there, in my opinion, price value, is going to be either the Rittenhouse, the Old Overholt, or then the Jack Daniel's single barrel rye whiskey. Beautiful stuff. If you have a little bit deeper pockets, go for a New Riff or go for a Pikesville rye. There's some good value out there. Wow. C plus, definitely. Good stuff. Even with water, it actually holds up to the water and gets a little bit more of a viscosity going on in there. A little bit more vanilla actually kicks in. Great mouthfeel. Wonderful whiskey. Well done. I like more than I thought I would. All right, so my question of the day is, you have $50 and or $80 to spend, euros. What rye whiskey would you go out and get? I would get myself a New Riff / Peerless, and I'd get myself a 2 bottles of Pikesville or a bottle of Jack Daniel's single barrel, and maybe a little bit of money left over for lot 40. All right, thank you very much for watching. All the best. WhiskyJason here. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and tell others. Bye-bye.